Hi, I'm Steve Clemons. I'm Director of the American Strategy Program at the New America Foundation, and I write the blog, The Washington Note, and also contribute to the Palestine Note. And I'm here with the Palestine Note's co-founder, Hani Masri, at the Clinton Global Initiative. Hani, today you were featured in a major segment of the Clinton Global Initiative with an organization you've helped start called Tomorrow's Youth Organization in partnership with the Cherie Blair Foundation, Prime Minister Blair's wife, and her activities. Can you tell a little bit about what you did today?
Well, let me explain to you about a little bit about Tomorrow's Youth. It's an organization for young people, young kids from 4 years up to 10 years, which we have founded in Palestine, and we service about 500 kids who come from refugees.
Where in Palestine is this?
It's in Nablus, in the city of Nablus.
I see.
And we have succeeded in the last 2 years to make it a viable organization, and we're providing kids with education in terms of IT, sports, music, and we are now involved with the mothers and women and teaching them the same thing about, we teach them English, we teach them also how to use the computers and so
on. These are women in Palestine that are getting this.
These are women in Palestine and from poor areas. You know, a lot of people have done a lot of work all over the world, and non-governmental organizations, especially for
is this area where there's violence, there's Hamas, there's Fatah,
yes.
There's like a war going on? You're telling me you're educating women?
We consider a conflict area. And it's just started like we did Quincy Jones and Jim Wolfenson and the mayor of Rome and Lori Severe. We have done about 5 years ago an event in Rome called We Are the Future to promote children of conflict, because most children are the ones who suffer out of conflict, and they don't make decisions of war. It's the grown-ups who make it, and they basically suffer. And we have done at that time centers for children in Kigali, Addis Ababa, and other places in Africa. I decided to get involved in Palestine with a program for youth and children, because it's an area of conflict, it's an area which is occupied, there's a lot of poverty, a lot of unemployment, a lot of issues, and nobody had paid attention to that actually.
Right.
We have only discussed in terms of finding diplomatic settlement to end the occupation, and negotiations between diplomats has been happening 20 years. I believe, and nobody wants to touch the Middle East. Everybody wants to go Africa, everywhere. The Middle East is too dangerous to touch. Where I formed the organization of TYO in Washington, we were able to get the 501. We were
501c3.
501c3,
as a nonprofit,
which is
right.
Yes, and it took us about a year, and we were very proud to get it. We went to a city, Nablus, which is not Ramallah, because those areas nobody goes there at that time. And we founded the organization to serve the children there. And it's...
How long has it been?
It has been only 2 years, but we have been able, I sent some young American girls, and they're all from highly educated, highly motivated, and graduates of Harvard and so forth. Young.
Have they had any troubles then?
At the beginning they did, but they were well received by the people, and that gave me, I was more dedicated as a result, that when you come and do good in communities, we came not as a political organization, and we came as just, we are there to help children and to promote some training for children in other areas, such as the child in the Palestine. What does he do after school?
And these are Muslim families, Muslim children, Christian children.
They are Muslim families, and but we have Christians, and we are.
But I raise the Muslim question because there's a question about, particularly as you look in other parts of the Muslim world, a sort of rejection of women having opportunities. But you've got Muslim families participating in this.
Yes, we went to the camps, and the American girls went to the camps.
Mm.
And mind you, these are areas which it's very hard for American girls to go to.
Pretty horrific.
They were well received, and these girls were dedicated, and they said, we want your children to come, and we want to teach them something. Instead of being in the streets, we want them to come to our center, and we will provide for them education in terms of sports, music, healthcare. We teach the mothers how to take care of their children in simple healthcare issues. And then we discovered that the mothers stayed behind they have no place to go. They have no real life to do. And it's a tough situation. Under occupation, situation has been very bad for them. You can't move around from one city to another. So we decided that these women, instead of sitting around, we need to teach them English and do some programs for them. So we developed the program to include the mothers. Mothers are extremely important. And we discovered that the empowerment of women, even in Muslim countries where women are not really treated well.
So you're affirming their humanity.
And we discovered they are powerful,
right.
They make decisions. Mothers want to see that their children are taken care of. A mother doesn't want her child not to have education and not to build a future, and she wants to protect her son and give the best she can. And they were excited about their programs.
Now, let me ask you a slightly...
That's why we are now working with Sherry Blair
right.
also on issues where she visited the center in Nablus, and she was very...
this is Tony Blair's wife.
Tony Blair's wife.
She has her own foundation.
Yes, she has her own foundation helping women to do their own businesses and so forth, and we are cooperating together to promote this issue than before. But listen, Palestinians have been under occupation for 40 years. There's no occupation that is good. Every occupation is bad. To have a building, if you can't have a Palestinian state without also have a strong Palestinian institutions.
Right.
And what do? Sit down and wait for politicians to sit down and wait for Mitchell to succeed. Maybe he succeeds, maybe he not. He wouldn't. I hope he will.
It's not looking good right now.
We don't have. It's an organization that is open. We have a website. All our finances are open.
What is the
we
website?
pay
It's www.tomorrowsyouth.org for those who want to look it up. Tell me, just take a moment to tell our viewers what was announced today with Sherry Blair here at the Clinton Global Initiative.
Well, we are recognized as we are not a big organization ourselves.
But you're a great boutique.
We are a great boutique organization that we started. And also, it is not going to be confined to Palestine only or to Nablus only. We want to open many centers in other areas in the Arab world and in Palestine. We're now working on setting the center in Beirut. We want to set one in Cairo and Morocco. And in Beirut we will be serving Christians, Maronite, Druses. I do not want to keep separating Muslims and Christians and Jews and whatnot. We are for improvement of livelihood of children, improvement of the atmosphere that exists, and I am not one who like to talk about just Muslim organizations or whatever. I want to see that we have harmony among all groups, and that's what I was.
It's very commendable.
I went to Christian schools. My sisters went to non-schools. We are a Muslim family. That's how we lived. These Christian schools were great schools.
That's why you slipped so well from one group to another.
And I went to churches to pray, whatever. But my father said, "You need to have the education, and we learn to be tolerant." And I want to have the Middle East tolerant among all religions, all faith. But there should be no occupation of anybody. It's degrading. It's dehumanizing. It is not acceptable.
I completely agree, Hani. And I can't wait to get over to Nablus to see this place myself.
I will take you myself.
I want to commend you for what you've done, and I want to thank you for talking to our viewers at the Palestine Note and the Washington Note. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much, sir.